Number 10. The limp noodle handshake. You walk into a room, spot someone you need to impress, and extend your hand for that quintessential greeting. This is it. Your moment to shine, to exude confidence and competence. Then you feel it. A hand as lifeless as a wet sock, a grip weaker than a toddler's grasp on a juice box. Congratulations, you've just experienced or given the limp noodle handshake, and you've already failed the first impression test. This isn't just about a firm grip. It's a nonverbal billboard for your entire personality. A limp handshake screams, "I'm unconfident, uninterested, and possibly a bit afraid of human contact." It suggests a lack of presence, a hesitancy to engage, or even a passive-aggressive attempt to subtly assert dominance by making the other person do all the work. Your brain is wired to interpret physical contact as a signal. A firm, confident handshake, not a bone-crushing one, let's be clear, conveys trustworthiness, enthusiasm, and respect. It shows you're present, engaged, and ready to play ball. A limp one? It's basically telling the other person, "I'm just here so I don't get fined," but with your palm. So the next time you're about to meet someone new, remember your hand is speaking volumes before your mouth even opens. Basically, your grip is a direct line to your perceived inner strength or lack thereof. Number 9. The eye dart. Ever been talking to someone who looks everywhere but at you? Their eyes are doing a frantic, desperate dance around the room, checking out the clock, glancing at the ceiling, analyzing a dust bunny on the floor. It's like their eyeballs are trying to escape their head. This frantic visual tour is the eye dart, and it's a surefire way to make anyone you're talking to feel utterly insignificant. Your brain processes direct eye contact as a sign of honesty, engagement, and respect. It says, "I'm listening, I value what you're saying, and I'm not planning my grocery list while you talk." The eye dart, however, tells a different story. It suggests anxiety, dishonesty, a severe lack of focus, or worst of all, that you find the pattern on the wallpaper more interesting than their heartfelt monologue. Psychologically, it breaks rapport instantly. People feel unheard, dismissed, and ultimately a little insulted. It's the visual equivalent of someone constantly interrupting you, but without making a sound. So if you find your gaze wandering during a conversation, try to rein it in. Otherwise, you're signaling that your attention span is shorter than a goldfish's memory. Basically, your eyes are telling on your brain, and your brain is bored. Number 8. The personal space invasion. You're having a perfectly normal conversation. Then slowly, almost imperceptibly, they start to close in. You take a subtle step back. They step forward. You pivot slightly. They pivot with you. Suddenly, you're backed into a corner, feeling like a trapped gazelle, acutely aware of their breath on your face. You've just fallen victim to the personal space invader, and now you're wondering if you need a restraining order from this conversation. Every culture has its invisible bubble of personal space, and when that bubble is popped without an invitation, it triggers an instant physiological and psychological alarm. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm bell, goes off. You feel threatened, uncomfortable, and instinctively want to create distance. This isn't about attraction. It's about a primal need for safety. When someone consistently breaches this invisible boundary, they're signaling a lack of awareness, a disregard for social norms, or an attempt at aggressive dominance. It instantly makes people feel defensive and resentful, transforming a casual chat into an awkward standoff. So unless you're in a crowded elevator or performing an emergency tracheotomy, give people some room. Basically, your invisible force field is real, and people will dislike you for punching through it. Number 7. The crossed arm fortress. You're in a meeting, someone is talking, and you decide to cross your arms. Seems innocuous enough, right? Maybe you're just cold or comfortable. But to everyone else in the room, you've just erected an invisible, impenetrable wall around yourself. This is the crossed arm fortress, and it's practically yelling, "I'm closed off, defensive, and I probably don't agree with anything you're saying." Your body language is a primal evolutionary communication system. Crossing your arms is a universal signal of self-protection or disagreement. It creates a physical barrier, effectively shutting others out. Psychologically, it conveys resistance, boredom, or outright hostility. People instinctively read this as a sign that you're unwilling to listen, unapproachable, or that you're just plain unhappy to be there. Even if your brain is screaming, I'm just chilly. Your arms are screaming, get away from me, you fascinating conversationalist. So, unless you're genuinely freezing in an Arctic expedition, uncross those arms. Otherwise, you're broadcasting a giant do not disturb sign to the world. Basically, your arms are acting like bouncers for your personality, and they're not letting anyone in. Number 6. The fidgety frenzy. You're trying to have a serious conversation, but the person you're talking to is drumming their fingers, tapping their foot, jiggling their leg, or constantly checking their phone. It's like they're hosting a tiny private rave in their seat. This is the fidgety frenzy, and it's making everyone around you think you're either incredibly nervous, desperately bored, or secretly plotting your escape. Fidgeting is often a release of nervous energy, a way for your body to cope with anxiety or boredom. But what it communicates to others is a lack of focus and respect. It suggests you're not fully engaged, that your mind is elsewhere, or that you're so uncomfortable you can't sit still. It's distracting, annoying, and makes the other person feel like their words are bouncing off a hyperactive pinball machine. Psychologically, consistent fidgeting erodes trust and makes you appear less credible. If you can't even sit still for a 5-minute chat, how are you going to handle a complex project or a serious commitment? So try to channel that restless energy. Otherwise, you're signaling that your internal motor is stuck on chaos mode, and it's disrupting everyone's peace. Basically, your body is having an anxiety attack, and it's taking everyone else down with it. Number 5. The fake smile. You know the one. The lips stretch, but the eyes remain dead and lifeless. It's the kind of smile that says, I'm performing happiness for you because society demands it, but my soul is weeping. This is the fake smile, and while you might think you're pulling it off, almost everyone can spot it a mile away, and it makes you seem disingenuous, untrustworthy, and frankly, a bit creepy. Humans are incredibly adept at recognizing genuine emotions, especially through facial expressions. A real smile, often called a Duchenne smile, involves the muscles around your eyes, the orbicularis oculi, contracting, creating those little crinkles or crow's feet. A fake smile, on the other hand, usually only engages the muscles around the mouth, the zygomaticus major. Your brain has an automatic lie detector for this. When someone flashes a fake smile, it triggers a subconscious alarm. It suggests they're hiding something, trying to manipulate you, or simply don't genuinely like you. It creates a feeling of unease and distrust because your subconscious mind is screaming, "Warning! Inauthenticity detected." So if you're not genuinely happy, a neutral expression is almost always better than a forced grin. Basically, your face is trying to run a con, and your eyes are terrible at keeping secrets. Number 4. The alpha stance, overdone. You want to project confidence, presence, maybe even a little authority. So you puff out your chest, spread your feet wide, and perhaps even put your hands on your hips. In small doses, this can work. But take it too far, and you're no longer projecting confidence. You're broadcasting an aggressive, territorial, don't mess with me vibe that screams insecurity, not strength. This is the overdone alpha stance, and it's making you look like a cartoon villain auditioning for a role. There's a fine line between confident posture and outright intimidation. When you overdo an alpha stance, you're essentially challenging everyone in the room. It's a primitive signal designed to make you look larger and more dominant, but in a modern social setting, it comes across as arrogant, aggressive, and often deeply insecure. It suggests you need to physically assert your importance because your words or actions aren't doing the trick. People don't feel inspired or respected by it. They feel put off, threatened, or just annoyed. It's like a peacock strutting around a library, unnecessary, loud, and probably just annoying. So stand tall, but avoid turning yourself into a human action figure. Basically, your body is trying to compensate for something, and everyone else just sees a tryhard. Number 3. The constant nodder. You're explaining something, perhaps a complex idea or a personal story, and the person listening is nodding, and nodding, and nodding. It's not an affirming occasional nod, it's a relentless rhythmic head bob, like a bobblehead doll caught in an earthquake. This is the constant nodder, and while they might think they're signaling engagement, they're actually broadcasting, I'm not really listening, I just want you to finish talking so I can escape. A genuine nod is a subtle cue of comprehension or agreement. It's synchronized with your speech, a small punctuation mark in the conversation. The constant nod, however, is a nervous tic, a social pacifier. It suggests an eagerness to appear agreeable without actually processing information, or a desperate attempt to rush you through your points. Psychologically, it's unnerving. It feels insincere, like they're trying to fake attention. You start to wonder if they've actually absorbed anything you've said, or if they're just stuck in a permanent state of head-shaking affirmation. It erodes trust because you doubt their actual understanding or sincerity. So unless you're trying to communicate with someone from a different planet, ease up on the head bobbing. Basically, your head is trying to autopilot through the conversation, and everyone knows it. Number 2, the phone fiend. You're trying to connect with someone. You're sharing ideas, making plans, or just trying to enjoy a moment. But their eyes keep drifting. Their thumb is twitching. And then there it is, the glowing rectangle of doom. They pick up their phone, glance at a notification, type a quick message, or even openly scroll through social media while you're mid-sentence. This is the phone fiend, and they're not just rude. They're signaling that you and your conversation are utterly disposable. In the age of constant digital connection, the phone has become a black hole for attention. When you pull out your phone during a conversation, you are explicitly, unequivocally telling the other person that whatever is on your screen is more important than they are. It's a direct slap in the face to their self-worth and the value of the interaction. Psychologically, it creates a profound sense of dismissal and disrespect. People feel ignored, unimportant, and eventually, resentful. Your brain interprets this as a clear sign that you're not worth their full attention. It's the fastest way to shut down rapport and ensure that person won't bother trying to engage with you fully again. So, unless it's a genuine emergency, put the phone away. Otherwise, you're just proving that your digital life is more real than the person standing right in front of you. Basically, your phone is a highly effective, tiny brick wall between you and human connection. Number 1, the perpetual scowler, resting grumpy face. You're just chilling, thinking, existing. Maybe you're a bit tired or lost in thought. But the message your face is constantly sending to the world is one of intense displeasure, anger, or general disdain. Your brows are furrowed, your lips are downturned, and you look perpetually on the verge of declaring war on a particularly annoying pigeon. Welcome to the world of the perpetual scowler, or as it's more affectionately known, resting grumpy face, RGF. And it's making everyone assume you secretly hate them. Here's the brutal truth. Your face is your primary communication tool. It's constantly broadcasting signals, even when you think you're doing nothing. RGF is a phenomenon where a person's natural, relaxed facial expression appears to be angry, annoyed, or sad. It's often completely unintentional, a byproduct of genetics, bone structure, or habitual expressions. But the psychological impact on others is profound. People automatically interpret negative facial expressions as hostility or unfriendliness. They become guarded, avoid approaching you, or assume you're unapproachable. You might be the nicest, most joyful person on the inside, but your face is telling a different, much grumpier story. It creates a constant uphill battle in every social interaction, because you're always trying to overcome your own default setting. So if you've been told you look mad when you're just thinking, try a slight upturn of the corners of your mouth. It could change your whole social world. Basically, your face is an involuntary public relations disaster.